bring in our wonderful friend and amazing speaker, Sachin Patel. Sachin, come on in. If you just click on Go on Stage in the bottom right-hand corner, we will bring you in. Okay, there's Sachin. Hello, hello.
Hi, Jen, how are you?
So welcome everyone to your breakout session. So this is your breakout session with Sachin Patel. If that sounds like where you want to be, stay put with us here. If you're looking for the session with full script, you can just head back to the agenda and enter into that session. But we're really looking forward to this session with our wonderful friend and expert speaker, Sachin Patel, the fast track formula to create your wellness program in 90 days. So Sachin, I'd love to do a little intro to you, and then I will hand it off to you to take it away. So Sachin is a father, husband, philanthropist, functional medicine practice success coach, speaker, author, breathwork facilitator, and plant medicine advocate. Sachin is convinced that the doctor of the future is the patient, and he has committed himself to helping others raise their consciousness, activate their inner doctor, and initiate their deepest healing through the use of lifestyle and breathwork. Sachin founded the Living Proof Institute, through which he pioneered a revolutionary approach to patient-centered healthcare. Sachin coaches hundreds of practitioners around the world so that they are empowered to deliver affordable and inspired care to their communities through his Perfect Practice mentorship program. Sachin, we're so looking forward to learning from you today, and I'm going to hand it over to you to take it away.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, my friends, for being here. Not only do I hope your ancestors are proud of you for being here right now, but I hope that you look back and your future self thanks you for being here. It is my honor and my privilege. I am going to speak really quickly. I know this is being recorded, and I only have half an hour. So excuse my brevity, excuse my speed, but I want to make sure I deliver as much value as I possibly can. So I'm going to share my screen, and it'll just take me a minute to pull up my slide. And if I can get verification that you can see my slide, that would be great. Amazing. Looks like I can see it on my end, and I'm hoping you can see it on your end. So today we're going to be talking about how to create your wellness program in 90 days. And, I have to share with you that we've been using Practice Better from the very beginning. And we were actually probably one of the first people to join when they started offering group programs. This has been a very useful software for us in so many ways. And I love what the software can do for your practice. So we do share this openly, that this is the exclusive software that we recommend to our clients. So once again, welcome. What you can expect over the next 30 minutes is a deep dive, but also some philosophy on how to run your practice and how to set up yourself for success. I've been coaching people for many, many years. I've spent a lot of money on my own personal coaching. They always say, never hire a coach who doesn't have a coach. And what I've learned over these years, I think, can be very helpful in setting out the groundwork for your success. So before I forget, because I always do this, I want to make sure that everyone has a free copy of my book. So a couple of years ago, I decided that I don't want to do a free plus shipping offer. I don't want to have any obstacles in your way from you getting a copy of this book, because it has so much valuable information in it that will immediately benefit you. So you can scan this QR code. I will also drop a link in the chat for you to access that. And you're also going to get 30 practice pearls. This is where I share deep wisdom with you, and I send an email every day to educate you and inspire you. And it's 2 minutes, but each day you'll learn a different way to build and grow your practice no matter where you're at. So be sure to grab that. In the words of Ram Dass and many who led him to his journey, be here now. So be as present as you can. So there's a few things that a perfect practice creates. One, it creates superior clinical outcomes for your clients, a positive financial outcome for your practice, and personal health and happiness for you. If your practice is not creating this for you at this very moment, then we need to perhaps redraw the blueprint for it. And if you haven't built your practice yet, this is the blueprint upon which I would suggest that you formulate your practice. So, life is a series of fractals. And so small ideas and very core concepts fractal out into the rest of our lives and in the rest of our businesses. So it's important that you have some grounding principles and definitions of what it means to have an awesome practice. You want awesome outcomes. You want to be financially profitable and successful. And you want to have personal health and happiness for yourself. I mean, if you have those three things, you're in a pretty good spot. I want to share with you some wisdom that I think could be very valuable for you. And it's called the law of harvest. And the law of harvest is really simple. You may want to write these down. that you reap what you sow, which means that if you plant apple seeds, you're going to grow an apple tree, provided that you nurture it. You have to know exactly what kind of business you want, because then that's when you plant the seed. If you're trying to grow a mango tree, but you plant an apple seed, you're never going to get the results you're looking for. So first you have to define what type of practice do you want. Do you want a one-on-one practice? Do you want a group-based practice? Do you want a hybrid practice? How do you want to deliver your services? Because then you can plant yourself in the right soil. You see, if you plant a mango tree in Canada, it's not going to grow, no matter how well-intentioned you are. What you have to realize is that you have to plant the right seed in the right environment. But then you have to make sure that you plant that seed in the right soil, right? And the soil is the community. So the fact that you're here, I'd like to think that you're in the right soil. And when you're in the right soil, there's a mycelial network that runs through that soil that essentially shares resources. And that's what all the speakers here are doing. That's what I know is happening in the chat. I hope there's connections taking place, because as a community, we come together. Practice Better is providing us with that soil so that we can share and collaborate and cooperate with one another. The other law of harvest is that you cannot reap and sow in the same season. So if you sow your seeds today, they're not going to be trees or plants tomorrow. Okay, so you have to have the right expectations, and you also have to understand there's seasonality. The other thing that's important to note is that when you harvest, there will always be abundance. So for example, we planted jalapeno seeds in our garden this summer, or the spring rather, and each jalapeno has dozens, if not maybe even 100 seeds inside of it. I should count so I can be certain. And so that jalapeno delivers 100x the harvest of what was planted. So if we keep these principles in mind, we can start seeing where the gaps in our process might be. Is the gap in your vision? Are you planting the right seed? Is your gap in the vision? Is it the right soil? Is your gap in your vision? Do I have the right timeline and expectations? Am I trying to reap and sow at the same time? You know, once you understand this and you apply it to your business, you start to see where the room for improvement and optimization is. Now, here's another lesson. The fastest way to learn is by modeling others. The slowest way to learn is by trial and error. So surround yourself with people and learn from their time and their dime, right? So I've been doing this for 20 years. I've spent literally millions of dollars trying to build, grow, and develop my business. And so guess what? I've learned a lot of lessons. I've made a lot of mistakes. And the reason I'm on this stage is not because I have done the most good. Of course, we all want to do that, but I think it's because I've made the most number of mistakes. So I can provide the most number of lessons on what to do and what not to do. Again, surround yourself with the right community. This is crucial for you. And once you find that community, then it provides the correct conditions for you to grow in. Now, here's another key concept. Success is not a number or an amount of time away. It's a number of decisions away. What I've learned surrounding myself with, pentamillionaires and billionaires is learning and understanding that they are very decisive. And a decision doesn't mean yes. A decision is also saying no. So having the capability and the ability to be decisive and say yes or to say no is an excellent business skill to develop. A lot of people get stuck in maybe, and maybe is the worst place to be because you just never know where you are. But when you know what side of the fence you're on, yes or no, that clarity and that decisiveness is what helps you move faster towards success. Another key thing is psychology is more important than technology. Human psychology hasn't changed. Technology has changed, but human psychology hasn't. And our psychology, because we're humans, hasn't changed, although technology is changing so quickly. So once you study and understand human psychology, you have the ability now to develop a timeless understanding that supersedes technology. Now, sometimes our psychology prevents us from using technology because we might say, I suck at tech, or I find this challenging, I find this difficult. So instead of saying, I suck at anything, say, I'm getting better, or I'm working on, or up until now, I haven't been great at tech, but I'm trying to get better at it. See, our psychology, the words that we use, plays a huge role in our success as well. My philosophy is to build a business you love with love. Okay. And that's what we want to pour into our business. So we have to really take time and energy in understanding what type of business we want to build if we're going to pour into it. Okay. We have to pour our heart and soul into our business. And another key concept is build it after you sell it. Okay. A big mistake that a lot of people make is they build something not knowing if other people want it. My advice to you is commit to building it, right? So whether it takes you 12 weeks to build a program and then sell it, or if it takes you 12 weeks to sell the program and then build it, which one do you think makes more sense for you to focus on? Building the program doesn't generate any revenue. Selling the program does. I'm going to give you a framework on exactly how to do that. Remember, hunger is more important than tools. So you've got to be hungry. And I know that's why you're here. I could give you a ton of tools, but if you're not hungry, you're not going to go on the hunt, right? And do the work that needs to be done. Every practice should be built on these 5 freedoms, and you can certainly add your own and perhaps even eliminate the ones that don't apply to you if you choose not to. But there's 5 freedoms that I want you to understand. The first one is health. We are healthcare practitioners. We must be beacons of health. We don't have to have perfect health, but our health has to be moving and trajecting in the right direction so that we can speak with authority. We also have to have emotional health. For many of us, business is an emotional roller coaster. Being in business is the hardest thing you'll ever do. Being in a healthcare business is the most difficult thing you will ever do, right? There's so many easier ways for us to make money. And I've often thought about, what if I applied all the things that I know? I could have a fast path towards success in any industry, right? So you've chosen this Dharma, or it's chosen you. And so we have to make sure we have emotional stability and build a business that also promotes that. Next thing is time freedom. We have to make sure that we are leveraged. There's so many people for us to help. We can't solve this problem one-on-one. We can only solve this problem in a leveraged way. So we have to learn how to utilize time. We have to learn how to can and clone ourselves, duplicate ourselves, and technology allows us to do that. Next thing is geographic freedom. I want to be able to work from anywhere. I love the fact that I can use organizations like Fullscript, which I do. I love the fact that I can practice from anywhere in the world. I travel quite a bit. And so having the geographic freedom allows me to do that. My certifications, being an FDN, allows me to do that. So do you have the right certifications to serve the size of the audience that you want to serve? Nothing wrong with one-on-one. Just remember, sometimes there's limitations based on our scope of practice. The next is financial freedom. The order of these things is important because financial freedom can't necessarily buy the other 4 freedoms. So if you have this framework in mind, then it allows you and gives you the capability of building a business that you love. Now, this is a framework that we use called a timeless formula. And it's basically based on the Pareto principle. The Pareto principle states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort, right? So it's 80-20. We've probably heard this, and it applies to everything. 80% of the traffic utilizes 20% of the roads. Okay, that's another framework. So, or another example. So when we think of our functional medicine or wellness or holistic practices, our one-on-one represents literally 20% of 20%. It represents 4% of our impact, and I would argue probably even less. When we start getting into precision wellness or group-based programs, one-to-many, this represents a much greater opportunity for us to be in service. Just like right now, I could have this conversation with each and every one of you individually, or I could be having it in a group session like this. And then there's one to infinity, which is where this is being recorded and can be shared on a variety of different platforms if it becomes available, right? So how do you apply this principle and this framework into your practice, right? Yes, you can do one-on-one, but what if you also did one-to-many? You could help multiple people at the same time who are all trying to solve the same problem, which means they probably all have the same questions and they may have similar hangups. You could also create a hybrid program where you have one-on-one and group, which is how our programs are set up. Now, it's important to note that the higher you go up this mountain, there's more risk, there's more burnout, there's more complexity, there's more emails. So we find the sweet spot is somewhere in the middle. In fact, Cleveland Clinic found that the sweet spot was in the middle as well when they did a study to find out that group-based programs are actually more cost-effective and produce superior clinical outcomes than one-on-one care does. So for evidence-based practitioners, then our mind should be going to the direction of how do I build this? And of course, Practice Better provides you with the platform that allows you to build all of this out. And this is how we've built it, and this is how we share it with our clients. With one click, I can literally share my entire system and all my forms and everything that my clients need, all the modules that we've built. I can share that with my clients that I coach because because Practice Better makes it easy for us to do that. But we've built all this out and we share it with people. So let's create your program. We have about 15 minutes. I'm going to give you a framework, but this is something that you can unpack, and I invite you to unpack this as we go through. So You may want to do the exercises, or you may want to just reflect on what those exercises are and then find some quiet time where you can actually do them. So we're going to take something called the 7D approach. And on the right here is basically an unboxing of our package in our program called our Living Light Metabolic Program. And so we've built a program. There's hundreds of practitioners that offer this program to their clients. We've trained a couple hundred in delivering this, and we license this system to practitioners because we've based it off of this 7D approach. And I'm going to share that framework with you. So the first one is to dream. Okay. I want you to dream as big as you possibly can. And so we have to dream up what is the solution that we're offering to people. When you understand the magnitude of the problem, you start understanding that the average person is completely clueless. And we have all this advanced knowledge to help people. However, they're not even doing the basics. There's so many people that have come to me saying my digestion sucks, and they've been to all these different practitioners, tried all these different tests, tried all different kinds of supplements. And the first question I ask them is, do you even chew your food? And 99% of the time, the answer is no. So I want you to dream big, which means you can help a lot of people, but I don't want you to get super, super specific. So we want you to start dreaming up what your business looks like. And I'll go into more details as we go through this. Next, we want you to define. We want to get clear on what it is that you're offering people. Third, we want to demonstrate, right? Does this program actually work? Does it produce the results that it's going to? We heard Fullscript talking about they test supplements to make sure that what's on the label is what's in the bottle, right? So I want to make sure if I'm making a claim that here's the things that improve when you do this program, that I'm able to demonstrate that. So we actually use a data-driven approach. You might use an approach like, weighing yourself. You might use an approach like measuring blood sugar. You might use an approach like measuring blood pressure, right? How are you going to demonstrate that what you do works in a language that the world speaks, right? The entire world speaks the language of blood pressure. The entire world speaks the language of weight. The entire world may not speak the language of HRV, but people who know, right? So how will you demonstrate that what you do works, and how will you define that? Next is, once we demonstrate that what we do works, we have to know how to drive traffic to our message, right? We obviously have to create a program and drive traffic to it so it sells. You could build an amazing program, and unlike Field of Dreams, if you build it, they're not necessarily going to come. So you have to find an organic strategy, or you have to find a paid strategy or a networking strategy. Whatever the case may be, there's unlimited options on how you can drive traffic to your offering, but you have to figure out what that is. And we'll talk about some examples of that. Next is you want to differentiate. So when you drive traffic to your offer, or you drive traffic to your educational modules, how are you differentiating what you're doing? How is what you're doing different than what else is already out there? Next is deliver the program, okay? And then make the program dynamic so that if you deliver it in a certain way and you don't like how you're delivering it, be okay with changing it. You don't have to ask anyone permission to change your program. If I create a program and I decide, you know what, I don't want to offer this anymore, you don't have to do it, right? So you can simply add and remove features and benefits of your program and just be open to it being dynamic. If you open up your Facebook app, you're going to see that they're on version 450 plus. Last time I checked, it was version 450. So their app is dynamic and is constantly evolving. So a question to ask yourself is, what is the right I want to wrong? Or what is the wrong I want to right, right? So what's happening in the world right now that is so wrong to you that you want to make right, okay? And you have to be passionate about solving that problem. You want to solve that problem, okay? And you want to solve a specific problem for a specific group of people in a specific way. This is very crucial, okay? So solve a specific problem for a specific group of people in a specific way. If you're creating a program and somebody wants it in a different way, that's okay, right? But if you're creating a group-based program, then it has to be very specific. And no matter what health condition you choose these days, there's plenty of people that have that problem. For me, it's obesity. So I'm really big on helping people with their metabolic health and wellness, because that's the stem and the root of many chronic health challenges. If we look at obesity rates, they've skyrocketed. And so I want to fix that problem. So where do? We start dreaming up what are the things that people don't know about metabolic syndrome? What are the areas that I would cover? So I wrote mine down, and yours might look messy like this. So what am I going to educate these people on to help them resolve their metabolic health issues? And then once we kind of dream up what that looks like, what we start then doing is we start defining it, right? So I might have 18 ideas here, and I'm going to drill it down to my best 12 ideas. Okay. Now, we make it pretty like this because we want people to see that we have a process. So in our metabolic program, we help people optimize energy. We focus on restful sleep. We focus on metabolic health, on optimal nutrition, circadian rhythm, a balanced HPA axis, inflammation reduction, healthy weight, wearable tech, stress management, healthy digestion, and we optimize their breathing. So we have a program that is unlike any other program on the planet. It's differentiated from everything that's out there. And so when we can demonstrate this, we can speak to it. An infographic of what you do can go a very long way in doing a lot of heavy lifting for you, right? Like all of you could take a screenshot of this and it could be easily duplicated in Canva or something like that. But find out what those units are for you. So when I offer this program, hey, these are all the things that we cover, it becomes very clear and easy to see, and I can speak to the benefits. So how do we get into people's heads to really understand what questions they have? If you haven't used this app, I won't spend too much time here, but just jot it down. Go to answerthepublic.com and you can type in, 1 or 2 words about the condition that you treat, and you'll see all the questions that people have about solving this problem. So take a look there and play around, and you'll see that it's a cool tool to help you create content, but also to help you in defining your messaging as well. Next is we want to demonstrate, right? So these are my actual screenshots from my Oura Ring and my Muse and my Smart Scale that I use. So how are you documenting that what you do actually works? Are you finding ways to quantify it? Okay, whatever that way might be. And I find multiple ways to quantify what I do because I want to make sure that what I'm offering to people is bulletproof. Is it cost effective? Is it clinically effective? Does it produce the right outcomes that I'm looking for? And so when you're creating your program, you have to know how you're going to demonstrate benefits. Okay, it can't just be subjective. We live in a very objective society, so it has to be both. Okay. Next is we want to drive, right? So on the left-hand side of this slide, what you see is we have multiple ways to drive people to a root cause assessment. It could be a YouTube video, it could be a Facebook post, or it could be our Facebook community. It could be an event that we're hosting, an invitation to our email list to schedule with us, word of mouth, podcasts, or summits, right? What are we going to do to drive traffic to our offering, right? And of course, paid ads and organic both work. You just have to choose what works for you. Then we deliver, right? So we have a very defined, beautiful process. We've got everything that our clients need to be successful, and they get a lovely package from us in the mail when they join our program with everything that they need to succeed. So you don't have to do a physical program, right? We have a physical program because we like to create an amazing experience for our clients. They get an Oura Ring, they get a special light bulb, they get a special spray, they get some essential oils, they get physical manuals, they get a book, right? And this is something we developed over time. So you might just start off with a digital version of your program and then advance yourself into a more advanced, you dynamically keep improving and optimizing. Now, one of the things that I do now that some of you might know is we actually license our system to practitioners. So instead of having to build all of this out for yourself, all of the modules and Practice Better, all of the landing pages and masterclass invitations and, the dozens of emails and marketing and promotion and printing the books, we actually do that for you. So we actually, I won't talk too much about that. You can learn more about that at our booth. And we're doing a special open house tonight at 6:00 if you want to learn more about how you can implement something like this into your practice. Next is different is better than better. This is one of my favorite quotes from my friend Sally Hogshead. And so you want to, when you drive traffic to your page, you want to differentiate yourself. Okay. So we dream up the idea, we get clear in defining what our modules and program is going to include. We go through it ourselves to demonstrate the benefits. We then drive traffic, and that traffic is looking for differentiation. So different is better than better. I'm not trying to be better than anyone. I just have to do something that's different. So we create a juxtaposition between what their current options are and what it might look like working with us. So in our case, conventional healthcare versus the Living Light Metabolic Program, right? Our paradigm is different. Our paradigm is the body is wise, not that the body is broken. Our focus is to create health instead of reacting to illness. Our focus is responsibility is to self-empowerment versus delegation to drugs and doctors. Our partnership is two-way instead of one-way, right? Our treatment or intervention is timeless wisdom instead of the latest drug. So when people see this differentiation taking place, they start to get to learn how to choose and make better decisions, because we've drawn a line in the sand and created clarity for the person to say either I want this or I want this. And one of your missions is to give people more clarity. You should always leave people more clear after you communicate them, not more confused. Okay, so I hope that this is helping. If I could just get a check-in in the chat, are you finding this helpful? Is this information benefiting you? And if it is, just let me know. Thank you. All right, so here's our program. You're welcome to take a screenshot of this. And we keep the program dynamic, which means we're always evolving it and we're always making it better and we're improving upon it. However, what we also do is we make it very clear in terms of what the offer is. So we have dynamic options for people. They can choose a light version of the program, which is mainly digital and community-based. They can choose the longevity version of the program, which is coaching-based. So there's some one-on-one coaching and an Oura ring to track their progress, because we like to collect data. And there's also a legacy version, which goes into genomic testing and food inflammation testing. So we have a program that's community-based, coaching-based, and clinician-based. So we have options for our clients, and you might evolve and start developing and creating different options as well. People love to know that they decided, right? And we always make the decision, the person makes a decision for themselves, right? It's their decision. So we ask them which program suits you best, right? If you only have one option, then sometimes if they don't want that, then, or they want something different, or they want something more, then it may not be available to them. So we don't want to give people too many choices, but we want to give them options so it feels like they're empowered when they make that decision to work with you. So a 90-day roadmap might look something like this. You can take a screenshot of this, getting clear with who you help, customizing your offer, marketing your messaging, putting together a one-page website, promoting your practice, creating a lead magnet, nurturing your leads, running a challenge, running a masterclass, learning how to sell and offer your program, launching your program, and then delivering your program. So this could be a roadmap on how you could outline some of the things that we discussed today. And you have all the tech to do the work. And so my invitation to all of you is, if you'd like to learn more about our program, we have a booth that's at the event, and we're actually helping 20 practitioners launch their wellness program, their metabolic health program, by January. So we have everything that you need in our system: weekly coaching, lead generation, marketing materials, nurture emails, everything that you possibly need to get it up and running. And it's a proven process that we've put together for you. So my team is here. We're here to help. We're here to serve you. And we invite you to come and join us. And I want to say thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you to Practice Better for always, I have the privilege, I should say, I have the privilege of kind of getting a sense of what's happening behind the scenes at Practice Better. And they are an amazing company, and they've evolved and continue to evolve. And I love the fact that we get to participate in an event like this together, totally world-class. And thank you to the team there. And thank you to all of you for the work that you do, the inspiration that you give me every single day when I see you helping and serving people. And if you're interested in learning more, we're here to partner with you to help you take your practice to the next level and give you the systems that you need. If you found today helpful, please let me know, and I will hand it back to my lovely co-host, Jen. Lots of love. Have a great day, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sachin. That was incredible. We're going to finish. We'll head to the booth and we'll see everyone there. Okay.